بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد الكبير الثالث والخمسون لباس الحرير والذهب للرجال. The author rahimahullah ta'ala, he tells us major sin number 53, men wearing gold and silk. For a man to wear gold and silk, he says this is a major sin for a man, not a woman. He says, لِلْرِجَالِ, for men and not women. So excluded from this topic or from the title, number one, women. Number two, one could possibly say children. One could possibly say children. Anyone who is not a rajul, anyone who is not a man. One could possibly say small boys who have not reached the age of puberty could possibly wear gold or silk. One could possibly say that because he is not considered a rajul in the language, let alone in the sharia. He's not of age. And one could possibly say, rather, it is still haram or perhaps makruh for a young boy to wear gold and to wear silver. Secondly, from the things which pertain to the unwan, the title, and as we always try to pay focus in the classes and the lectures and the khutbahs, the secret of understanding the lesson is in the title. The secret of understanding the hadith is in the chapter heading. The secret in getting a thorough benefit is paying attention to the actual title, that which is included and that which is excluded. And developing your sense of extracting and deducing the different rulings from the title. Another concept that pertains to the title is, it says, Al-Harir wa Dhahab. It says silk and gold. Does this mean only pure silk and pure gold? In other words, if a person has a blend, a shirt, pants, a hat, underwear, a blanket, something that's not pure silk, but it's actually a blend. Or one may say, does this also include synthetic silk? Silk that's not actually from a worm, but it's synthetic. Or, wa alaikum assalam to Allah, people may possibly say, or someone could possibly say, what about raw silk? And everyone knows, if you've ever dealt with it, raw silk is different than pure silk. It's silk, but it's not as fine, it's not as smooth, it's not as soft, but as if it's a different type of material. Anyone ever had raw silk? You ever felt raw silk before? A raw silk shirt is different than what? Than the silk that's manufactured. It's like almost like what? Night and day. Not going too deep in that. Obviously, there are benefits in the raw silk as well. It feels totally different than other fabrics. So what's meant by the concept of silk? Is it silk that is raw, pure, or silk that is manufactured? And the reason why we bring this up is because the raw silk does not have the same qualities as the manufactured silk, of it being a finery, of it being extremely expensive, of it being a sign of luxury, of it being sign of softness or femininity, yani it being soft and gentle. The raw silk is totally different than this. So one could possibly say that it doesn't pertain to what? That. And what's meant by is the manufactured silk that is a means of luxury and royalty. Okay? Also when it comes to gold, it says dhahab. And when people say gold, in most cases it's pertaining to pure gold or solid gold. So one says gold plated. Can I have a gold plated wristwatch? Can I have a gold plated pen, fountain pen? Can I have wear gold plated glasses where it isn't what? Solid gold. It's not pure gold. Or if it's a blend, if it's rolled gold, if it's blended with other metals, or flash painted, and the list goes on. These things, these ins and outs are all possible from the topic. What is clear and what is agreed upon is that pure silk and solid gold are haram for men. Pure silk and solid gold, these things are unlawful for men to wear. Another branch from this is the concept of not wearing the silk, but let's say laying upon the silk, sitting upon the silk, covering your face with silk, such as a blanket. Can you blow your nose with a silk handkerchief? I'm not wearing it, but I'm using it, and it touches my skin. Now, you may say, what is the benefit behind this? Or this is petty, or this is too much imagination. But this is a reality, because there are many products many things that are manufactured today that are made from silk that men don't necessarily wear, such as a camping blanket. If you ever buy a camping blanket, those that fold up, they call them cocoon blankets. These are the, as they say, state of the art, the best blanket that you can get for camping. It's small, it's easily carried around, and it's super lightweight. It keeps you warm, and it also is very breathable. But if you read the package, it's made from 100% silk. So one may say, I'm not wearing the blanket, but I'm just putting it on top of me. It also is included in this as well. Khairan, inshallah. The author, rahimahullah ta'ala, says, قال الله تعالى وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. Allah tells us in Surah Al-A'raf, speaking on the story of Adam alayhi salam and his wife Hawa, our mother, Eve, and the incitements of the shaitan, and the mistakes and the errors that they made therein, and the nakedness therein. Allah says, وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى. Allah says, in the clothing of piety, ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. That is best. That is best. The piety manifested in one's clothes. So the author has mentioned a general proof from this ayah is that the clothing of taqwa is better for you. Now obviously this ayah is not specific. It is not pertaining to dhahab or silk. It's talking about Adam alayhi salam and Eve. But he's talking about here the generality of pious clothing. And obviously the explanation of the sunnah proves that gold and silk for men are not means of piety. They're not means of what? Piety for men. Another very important point here, before we move any further, is the concept of trading with silk. Is it permissible to be a silk merchant as a man? Can you sell silk to non-Muslim men? Can you sell silk garments to Muslim men who wish to wear them? Or one may say, is it permissible for me to buy silk for my wife? Everybody understand this? A blanket, a handkerchief, lingerie, whatever the case may be. Can you buy it for your wife? And when you buy it for your wife, you're purchasing it, you're touching it, and you're carrying it. Everybody clear on this? Is it permissible to have silk and give silk as a gift? He then says, وَقَالَ النَّبِيُّ صلى الله عليه وسلم مَنْ لَبِسَ الْحَرِيرَ فِي الدُّنْيَا لَمْ يَلْبَسْهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مُتَّفَقٌ عَلَيْهِ. Hadith 352. The Prophet ﷺ says, anyone who wears silk in this life will not wear it in the hereafter. Any man who dresses himself in silk in the dunya will not wear that silk in the hereafter. And the hadith is agreed upon. This hadith clearly proves is that wearing silk for men is a major sin. And the proof that it is a major sin, because the hadith says nothing about min al-Kaba'ir, but it clearly states a specific punishment. And it states that he will be stripped of something and prevented from something. And that stripping or that preventing is wearing the silk in Jannah. And Allah Azza wa Jal, He tells in the Quran in several verses is that the people of Jannah will wear silk brocades. He mentions different words, istabrak. He mentions different terms and different types of silk in the Jannah. So the hadith says they will not wear it in the Jannah, proving that they will not either, they won't go to Jannah, wal-iyadhu billah, or they'll go to Jannah, but they won't be allowed to wear it therein. And that's a long discussion in itself, such as the hadith with regards to drinking khamr. As Abdullah ibn Umar has narrated in the Sahih, that the Prophet ﷺ says, "Man sharib al-khamra fi dunya, thumma lam yatub minha, lam yashrabha fi al-akhirah." Or kama qala alayhi salatu. He says, anyone who drinks alcohol in this life and does not make tawbah before dying will not drink it in hereafter. Then obviously, if the people of Jannah drink wine, and the hadith says that he will not drink wine, and Allah has told us that there's no sadness in paradise, there's no jealousy in paradise, there's no malice in paradise, it only leaves one thing, is that the person won't go to paradise. But it doesn't necessarily mean the person is no longer a Muslim and he'll be in hellfire forever. Khairan inshallah. Moving forward. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما يلبس الحرير في الدنيا من لا خلاق له في الآخرة رواه البخاري. Al-Khalaq al-Nasib. The Prophet also says, the only people who wear silk in the dunya are those who have nothing in the hereafter. Of those who have nothing in the hereafter. And this hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم حرم لباس الذهب والحرير على ذكور أمتي وأحل لإناثهم صحيح الترمذي. The Prophet also said, wearing gold and silver, or wearing gold and silk is unlawful for the males of my nation and lawful for the females of my nation. And this hadith is authenticated by Imam al-Tirmidhi, clearly showing the ruling only pertains to men and not women. وقال حذيفة نهانا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن نشرب في آنية الذهب والفضة وأن نأكل فيها وعن لبس الحرير والديباج وأن نجلس عليه رواه البخاري. Hudhayfa radiallahu anhu narrates that the Prophet ﷺ forbade us from the following things. Number one, to drink in gold and silver gauntlets. To drink from or in gold and silver gauntlets, vessels. And to eat therefrom or therein. A platter of silver, a platter of gold. You cannot use those things. Sterling silver. As many people that have sterling silver pots, sterling silver forks, sterling silver spoons, sterling silver platters. These things are what? They're all unlawful. And the Prophet ﷺ also forbade us from wearing silk, al-harir and dibaj, different types of silk, thick silk, thin silk, etc. And he also forbade us from sitting upon silk. He forbade us from sitting on silk as well, a silk saddle. And it's also, we extract from this, having a cover of silk and lying upon silk and using a blanket for silk as well. And this hadith is collected by Imam Al-Bukhari. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم من شرب في آنية الذهب والفضة إنما يجرجر في بطنه نار جهنم متفق عليه. And the Prophet also says, anyone who drinks from a silver or gold vessel is only gobbling down the fire of hell. وَلِيَعْذَ بِاللَّهِ. He's only gargling down the fire of hell into his belly. And the hadith is agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim. وثبت أنه صلى الله عليه وسلم رخص في الحرير للحكة وفي مقدار 4 أصابع وفي سن الذهب ونحوه فمن لبس خلعة الحرير أو كلوه الزركش أو طرز الذهب أو حواس الذهب فقد دخل في الوعيد المذكور وفسق بذلك. The author, he concludes the chapter by saying, it has been authentically reported that the Prophet ﷺ allowed the following things. Number one, he allowed men to wear silk who suffer from chafed skin, or who suffer from, let's say, scabies, or who suffer from an illness and a disease of the skin. And the Prophet ﷺ also allowed men to wear silk, pieces of silk, 4 fingers, arba asabi', the distance or the span or length or width of 4 fingers. That's it. That's it. So if you have a whole garment, you take 4 fingers. How much silk is that? Whether it's a thread, whether it's a patch, whatever the case may be, no more than that. He then says, and the Prophet ﷺ, he also allowed gold teeth. He allowed gold teeth as well. He says, so therefore those who wear different styles of silk and different things like this, they're included in that, and they become a fasiq. If you wear gold, if you wear silk, he says then you are a fasiq. You become an open sinner. Your testimony is rejected. You're not to be used as a witness. You're not to be used as a reporter of hadith. You're not to be an imam. Any of the rulings of fisq now apply to you. So last but not least is the concept of necessity. Or not even necessity, but need. Such as a person having a gold tooth. Or a person, the Sahabi whose nose was cut off in battle. Or a person, let's say, he needs some type of gold in his bones. Something with regards to some type of modern technology, a wire, a bar, something that has to be of a specific delicate type of metal. And the different qualities that gold has that many other metals do not have. Such as it does not rust. Such as its lightness but sturdiness. Such as its ability to be fabricated, to be manipulated, to be used in different ways that certain golds or certain metals don't have the ability to do necessarily. Al-Muhim is the concept of silk for medical necessity. We take from that hadith what some of the ulama of Islam say. It proves that it's permissible to use unlawful things for medical reasons. When it's a means of surgery, a means of a cure, sometimes it could be permissible to use certain things that are normally haram when it comes to medicinal purposes. That's a very, very long discussion, which is not the topic today. Allah Azza wa Jal surely knows best.